a big part of today's show, of having Josh in the boat with us, is to learn a little bit about it. We get lots of emails. How do I become a pro? How do I get sponsored? You know, or I wish I could do that, and blah, blah, blah. So for folks that aren't familiar with Josh Bertrand, first of all, give us a 30-second rundown of your fishing history as it pertains to, you know, the start of your career.
Sure. Well, yeah, and that's most common question I ever get, man, for sure. Is how do you become a pro fisherman?
Yeah.
I started out when I was a kid. I just became totally obsessed with fishing. When I was 10, 12, 14 years old, that's all I wanted to do. I wasn't fishing tournaments at the time, but I was just fishing every weekend, every chance I got.
Right.
And just kind of worked my way up through the ranks, man. I fished a lot of local and regional tournaments as a teenager.
As a co-angler or a non-boater?
To a point, and that's one thing I did, I think a little too quickly, I jumped over to the boater side, and that's another thing we can get into. I don't recommend doing that too quickly, but when I turned about 18, I started fishing on the pro side of a lot of regional tournaments. I started guiding.
At 18?
At 18. I mean, I couldn't wait to do it, man.
I couldn't wait to do it.
We weren't made of money, so I was having to hustle to get some. I mean, my parents were super supportive and did everything they could, but they didn't have the means to just drop the money on a $60,000 boat and say, hey, go after it, of course.
Right.
I was detailing boats, and I got, you know, to make enough money to be able to do it. That was my first job. I got into guiding, and guiding was really good for me. Helped me a lot with my people skills, got me a bunch of time on the water.
Sure.
Started fishing the Bassmaster Opens at 20. And
that's a 3, for folks who aren't familiar, that's a 3 tournament series, right? The individual series?
It is, yep. And the top 5 in points at the end of that makes it into the Elite Series.
Okay.
So I did that. My second year doing it, I just got lucky and had a good year. I got Angler of the Year in the Central Opens, so I made it onto the Elites and fished over there for 6 years. Now I'm fishing over at Major League Fishing.
So your total pro career is from 18 to 30, so 12 years already.
Yeah, it's been my job for that long. I can say it's been my job for that long, even though it doesn't feel like it.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair enough. So to put that in context, we've been doing Fishful Thinker television for 10 years, so.
That's crazy how time flies, huh?
Yeah, it is, right? But yeah, that's a key part. And I think a couple key things about that to take away. First of all, the passion has to be there, and that's the easy part. If you're born with it, you're born with it. And there's a jillion kids that have the passion, but then the next thing becomes the drive. And I love to fish, but am I willing to sacrifice?
You have to make sacrifices in several different areas to
right. And I'm just going to throw out there as a coach, that's not specific to only fishing. I don't care if you want to be a race car driver or a football player. If you're going to be a world-class anything, it's going to require sacrifices in other areas of your life to put your concentration in there. So, you know, once you got, let's say a guy is, okay, now I'm fishing club tournaments, okay? I'm Josh Bertrand and I'm fishing club tournaments. The first step from there to saying, okay, I want to get paid, all right? I mean, we're out, it's fun, I go fish with my buddies, I make a few $100 a weekend, you know, whatever. Now I want to get paid. How hard did you find that step into the Open Series?
The first year, I got my butt kicked. And, you know, actually what I did was I took a year off. And a lot of it was financial. Yep, after my first year fishing the Opens.
A minute ago you talked about making the step to being a boater too early as a tournament angler, specifically as a tournament angler. I did the same thing. I had a boat in the garage, but I fished as a co-angler or a non-boater because I wanted to learn the lakes, learn the deal, and then go fish with my own boat the following year. You said you don't want to start that too early. Why? What's the booby trap there? It seems intuitive that you would want to be the first guy with a boat.
I hear you, and you know what? I think you were really smart about it, and so far, thankfully, it's worked out all right for me.
Right.
But I look at, especially the first few years I had on tour, once I had qualified for a national tour, I was still, a lot of these lakes, it was my first time going to this lake, and it was my first time fishing in these types of conditions. And it was, if I would have fished co-angler at a younger age, I probably would have encountered these conditions before, watched a established professional boater deal with these conditions and either handle them right or wrong, but learn from it. It's a lot less expensive to do as a co-angler. And again, you only get one shot a lot of times once you decide to jump in and do this as a boater. And you know, if you have this one shot and you mess it up because you weren't prepared, you're done. You know what I mean?
Experience is one of those things you need before you have it. So it's better to get it on somebody else's dime and somebody else's risk.
So there's the college fishing factor right there. So we're going to jump right into talking about college and high school.
And I love that transition because you didn't come up through the high school and college ranks at all.
I did it the hard way, and again, I'm thankful. You know, there's no one right way to do it. Someone else could do it the way I did it.
So let me ask you this, based on that statement, because I think I know where he's going to say with this. Today, you started 12 years ago.
Yep.
An angler starting today is crazy, a young kid especially, to not get involved in either juniors or high school stuff. Don't you think?
Oh, dude, 100%.
Insane, because
100%.
For the kids out there or the parents that are watching this, getting your kid involved in a junior Bassmasters is a fantastic thing to do for a kid that likes to fish. Even if he's a trout fisherman or a whatever, they'll learn so much. They'll get a bunch of free boat rides and boats. They'll get free instructions from dudes that love it so much they do it for free to teach people.
The free. And that's so valuable. Like, it's valuable information.
Exactly. It doesn't cost you hardly. It's so much cheaper than soccer camp, you can't even believe it. And yet your kid's going to get all this benefit doing something he loves to do. So a junior club is just such a great deal. From there, a high school club, it's like 500 high school clubs or 600 high school clubs around the country now. It's crazy. I coached the junior national or the high school national championship. There's 300 boats in that thing now for a high school championship tournament. So it's a huge deal. And then from there, college, right? So now there's a bracketed way to move your way up through the ranks. Now you fish against some of the guys that have come up through that.
Yeah, some of my really good buddies. They're killers out there on tour now. Matt Lee, Jordan Lee.
Oh yeah, the Lee brothers, classic examples.
Fished in college. There's a bite right there.
There's one right at the boat. Look at he jumped under right at the boat, dude. Right as the bait made the turn.
These little guys are suspended.
We're all about knowledge, guys. Bill Seamantoe would call that a direction change. Your bait made the turn as it came to the boat, and then he got it right there, right?
100%.
That's like a turn in your trolling pass or steering a bait one direction or the other, which we commonly do. In that case, the crankbait went this way, the boat brought it, and he got bit right here.
yeah, that triggered him.
Yep, he's like, wait, it's turning. Funny how that works. So yeah, the Lee brothers, classic example, coming up through the college ranks, high school and then college, right?
Yep.
And then go on to be some of the bigger names in the sport.
If you're thinking about college fishing, or if you are in a college club, Berkeley and Abu Garcia have, last year they rolled out a program where we actually are teaming up with a lot of different schools, and they're offering a lot of benefits to the actual club itself in the way of discounts and jerseys and stuff, but outside of that, they're also offering mentorship. Right. So all of us as Berkeley and Abu Garcia pros have been assigned 3 different schools, and we mentor, and you know, we don't coach to the level that you did, but we do coach the clubs to a certain point. So pretty cool also program to look for if you're doing that.
That's a ridiculously cool program. And you know, to the parents out there that are watching this, I mentored one particular kid from the time he was 9 until he was 18 and went off to college to fish. And even there, we still talk a lot on the phone about tournaments and stuff. But by the time he graduated from high school, he had won $30,000 in college scholarship money and a couple of boats.
That's crazy.
And you know, also has a high school national championship on his resume and a junior world championship on his resume. And that stuff, even if he never fishes another day in his life, that's no different than your high school athlete that excels at anything. You might have been a track star in high school. Doesn't mean you have to go on and be a track, you know, pro, but those are memories that he'll have forever, and he got a bunch of his college paid for, so there's that.
Yeah, there's that.
But that's a big part of the deal as well, you know, the high school and collegiate thing. Now, some of the collegiate teams are living in full frat houses, so to speak, that are nothing but the fishing team in them. They've got boat garages, they've got school boats. So if you haven't looked into high school and collegiate fishing and you like to fish and you're a fan of this show, geez, send us an email. We'll get you more information out of it at fishfulthinker.com. But more importantly, just look up yourself. There's a lot of different places to get information about it. And a ton of corporate support. Toyota helped with some of the guys over the years. Pure Fishing or Berkeley and Abu Garcia has helped with a bunch.
It's a pretty cool opportunity to be able to do that, man.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that high school and the college is, if I were to do it again, I would take that step 100%.
Yep. Yeah, and that's the thing, and that's hindsight, right?
Yeah, exactly.